Hello and welcome to our channel. I am Sonia. This is Kent, and he is an audio genius.
Oh.
So, that leads us into Kent, what are the different amplifier classes?
So, you want me to put them in a class?
No.
Oh.
Hurry.
Ah! Okay. So there's different classes depending on how they're built. And it's the technology that it's talking about. It's not, which is resemblance of their quality, but also of their efficiency. So, that's a pretty boring start on the actually pretty exciting subject. Because, so the most commonly used for music is Class A.
Class A.
And that is it's not that much used today, but I will get back to it. And then there's Class AB.
Okay.
That used to be the most common, not anymore. Which I would say Class D is probably the most used now.
Class D.
Okay, and then there is the little bit more strange ones that you come across, Class T and Class H, which is a little bit outside the curriculum of like an electronics class, because it's a little bit on the advertisement stage, but it is an indication of something good. So, should I? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, let's talk about what each one is.
Yeah, not just talk about the alphabet. Class A.
Class A.
Class. Is the best sounding one, generally speaking. I mean, you typically don't come across a Class A amp that sounds bad.
Okay.
The reason is that it has a constant flow of current going through the amplification, and so it's always ready to deliver current to any movement it's doing, and that's a bit of a tricky size, but like you want, whenever you're delivering some power from an amplifier, you want it to be backed up with force immediately, and that's what a Class A is. It's that it's constantly running current through the speaker output, or through the amplification. Through the amplification is running current constantly, and but that makes it also extremely inefficient. So the Class A is nearly everything goes up into heat.
Oh.
Nearly nothing becomes power.
So are people using those today?
Yeah, the guzzlers, massive guzzlers.
Energy guzzlers?
Oh, crazy amount.
Oh, okay.
We're talking 10 to 15% efficiency. Like the 90 to 85% goes up into waste.
Okay, because it's sending everything through.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about the next one? AB?
Yeah, AB. Yeah.
Okay.
So it sounds like we're skipping B and C and all this, but that's like, those you can use for like other things than music. They're like full of distortion and what's it called, crossover modulation, which is more complex, but you can't use those for audio. They're too crappy.
Well, what else can an amplifier be used for besides music?
Oh, right. I mean, that could be that you have a small sensor of some kind, and you need to make that tiny little power until a 10 volt signal going into a processor for like a PLC, like a processor for a factory or something like that. That's also amplification, but I mean, and that's a lot more.
Yeah. That's enough of that.
That's a lot of more.
Tell me about the music.
The music. Well, so AB, that's been the most common for a long time. That's like a good, midpoint between efficiency and producing power. So all the amplifiers you see from the 80s, 90s, most of those are AB coupled, like AB, class AB.
Okay.
So it's about, I'll say it is about between 30 28 and 40% efficiency. Also, pretty good response on the current. You know, it backs up what it's doing. So if you need something to like, you know, pull like really pump in your dance class, that an AB coupled amplifier is typically, you know, that will produce more raunch and more like power when you're pushing it a little bit.
Okay. So is the AB more expensive?
No.
'Cause that one sounds really good.
Yeah,
It's a
but
good
I'm just selling it
amplifier
right
to
now.
get. No.
It's actually one of the cheapest.
Okay, next.
All right, Class D.
D. Okay. Class D.
Yeah.
All day making fun of that Danish accent.
Yeah.
All day.
So Class D is digital. That is a chip that's producing the output, and so that's very efficient. Very efficient. Typically around 90%. It's like versus the Class A that was 10 to 15.
So those first two were analog. Those weren't digital.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I thought it was all digital.
No. No.
Okay.
Right. No.
Okay.
Oh, and the first two on the AB and the A coupled can also be, it doesn't have to be transistors. It could be a tube, you know, the old glass tubes?
Mhm.
Yeah, they can be, those systems can be made with that, with tubes also.
Okay.
The-
The A and the AB
Yes.
can be okay.
It can be tubes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's very analog.
Entirely analog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so D is digital.
It's digital, yeah. That's what D stands for in it.
And
Class
it's very
D.
efficient.
Very efficient. Yeah.
Okay.
The full opposite. Where the other one gave 10% out of the power, this one has 10% loss. So it's like the opposite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, are you losing anything by going with
Mhm.
something so efficient and digital?
Yeah, you are. I mean, so this is just my own observation and looking at a lot of characteristics, like looking at the charts for like how the distortion goes in a Class D amplifier, and they bring in unharmonic distortion, which is the crappy kind. Harmonic distortion sounds cool. That's what you have on a guitar pedal and all these kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I mean, it just, you know, but the unharmonic sounds terrible, no matter who you are.
Okay.
And it brings that on at about, most amplifiers, around 35% power. Already there, it starts to come in.
The digital one does?
The digital one, yeah. And it's lacking power. The small circuits inside the little chip, you can just suck it dry from current much quicker than the other ones. Comparatively, if you have like the same power, if you have 100 watt, 100 watt, 100 watt on all of them, the Class A will be like way stronger to control and deliver current on that 100 watt.
Okay.
Where that the Class D, what you could clearly hear that is lacking like power compared to the AB, even at the very best D circuits. That probably a lot of people saying, but yeah, well, you're talking about the crap ST chip, the things. It's like, no, that goes for all of them. Pascal and even the best stuff out there, you know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what about the other class? Oh, what?
No, sorry. Yeah. No.
Is there more classes?
Well, there was the Class T and the Class H. Yeah.
We almost forgot T and H.
T and H.
What about T and H?
T and H. All right, those are quick. So T is just for tripath. So that is just like a branded kind of class for tripath. Tripath was the first company to do Class D.
Okay.
So that's it. I mean,
So
that's
it's
it.
a brand.
It's basically a brand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Class H is an energy efficient, like extra cared for in the power supply, also way of coupling and balancing the power to an AB. So it's like an extra cared for AB coupled amplifier. That's a Class H.
Is that one expensive?
They will be more expensive.
Okay,
Yeah,
'cause that sounds like a good one.
it is a good one, and they typically also last a long time. They're typically of a good build. All the ones I have worked with of Class H have been like really good amplifiers, yeah, reliable and yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Mhm.
Is there anything else we need to know about the types of amplifier, or does class pretty much solve it when we're talking about types of amplifiers?
Oh, you mean what differentiate
Yeah.
one amplifier from
Yeah.
another?
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, so they can be built of different qualities within each class. So, like a
Okay.
tube, for example, a tube amplifier is all different. They all sing differently from one tube to another tube. And so that's why that you can go, if you buy a tube amplifier, you can play with the tonality with changing the tubes in it. Just like changing speaker drivers, you can play with different types of tubes. It just have to be the right one intended for that circuit. But that's a lot of people are doing that. They have like several sets of tubes. Like they'll have some Russian ones, they'll have some American ones, and then they're like trying to find the, you know, like what they like, you know, between the
That's
tubes.
interesting.
Same things for the transistors. Transistors sounds differently. So between class A, B, and class H, that will also be very dependent. Power supply, like how do you power them? You know, I mean, if you put on a skimpy power supply, then that power supply is ultimately what's pulling the amplifier. You know, just being controlled by the output stage. Well, if that gives up, then the whole thing gives up. So that's why you also want to pick an amplifier that has a mother load, you know, of a power supply. You know, that's why you see a high-end amplifier have like a toroid, you know, like sitting like, you know, in it that weighs a ton. You know, that's because that it can deliver without problems to the process. So I mean, so there's many things you can do to make a good amplifier, and if you don't care, make it crappy.
So what happens if you have a small power supply?
Yeah.
Are you just getting not enough volume?
Yeah, but that could be a problem. But I mean, like, also if you're opening up so much in the stage that you're hitting the top, you know, of the like before you reach the top of the signals waves,
Yeah.
then you get you know, clipping, because
Clipping.
you're hitting the maximum of your DC voltage coming from the amplifier. Well, then you have clipping coming out of it that kills the woofer eventually. You know, so yeah, so that could also be a problem. You know, definitely. It's not necessarily that the amplifier will die. It's doing a crappy job. Could just be that it's a speaker killer.
Okay. That
Yep.
about sums it up.
Hope so.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Bye.